fell from grace, its wings clipped short by fire. The monuments of empire stand choked by the dust of consequence empire. The map is torn, the pieces scattered down 1,000 broken streets, where only wind and weeping ghosts observe the old defeat. No Führer's anthem rings out now, just silence where the legions trod. Our nation lies a broken thing, abandoned by its vengeful God. The westward sun sets cold on ruins where the shadows start to creep, and history takes ragged breath before it goes to sleep. But from the east a rumble starts, a steel tide bringing doctrine cold and new. The promise painted bloody red to stain the gray and broken hue. The line is drawn across the land, a border carved in granite fear, and the world holds still and strains to hear the first commands whispered here. I am gonna tell you tales from the GDR, a shadow country born beneath a distant star. I'm gathering the whispers from the wires and the rust, the darkest chapter written in the occupation's dust. They stepped off trains in battered boots, the men who planned the aftermath, carrying the scripture of the Marxists, charting a new determined path. They taught the masses evolution from the benches of Siberian cold, and now they stand upon the wreckage, rigid, watchful, brave and old. Here is Peak, the father figure, lecturing the exhausted crowd. And there is Ulbricht, tight-lipped, cold-eyed, speaking truths not yet allowed. They brought the hammer and the sickle on banners newly unfurled, to reconstruct the broken faith, to build a brand new workers' world. Es muss demokratisch aussehen, aber wir müssen alles in der Hand haben. The Red Army patrols the corners, heavy steel against the stone, and every door is marked by silence, every deed is known. We are the pawns upon the board, moved by a hand we cannot see. We trade one kind of tyranny for the grim necessity. They cleanse the books and rewrite laws. They fill the vacant halls of power and swear that freedom's finally here in this, the revolutionary hour. But freedom tastes like ash and oil, and smells like damp and foreign thread, as the foundations of the future rise above the graves of the dead. The iron curtain starts to fall, not cloth but concrete and barbed wire. A continent split down the spine, consumed by ideological fire. The West looks on from worried distance, seeing what the victors wrought, while memory is carefully pruned and all dissent is dearly bought. The watches are synchronized, the state begins its measured heavy beat. A nation built on fear and whispers, careful not to tap its feet. Now the air grows thick with watchmen, under the banners stained with red. The promise whispered bloody red, to honor the revolutionary dead. The line is drawn across the soul, a shadow carved in granite fear, and walls are raised so none can leave the history unfolding here. once reigned, a doctrine hard and absolute. And when you look upon the ruins, remember how the seeds took root. Remember Peak, remember Ulbricht's eyes. We tell the tales from East Germany until the silence finally dies. The darkest chapter, it began right here. Smoke still hung above the shattered pane. The reparations bled the land of gain. In Potsdam's shadow, where the four agreed, the western zones began to sow their seed. But eastward, under the hammer and the star, the Red Army judged just how far was too far. October 49, the slate wiped clean in red. The mandated loyalty of the said. They forced the union, called it choice and will. A phantom democracy, standing perfectly still. A sovereign state declared, but guided by command. The iron boot was firmly planted in the land. The great concrete doctrine, where the party is the truth. The endless binding blueprint of manufactured youth. Silence is the price of bread, and whispers fill the air. The German Democratic Republic, built on constant stare. It is the republic built on watching. Every breath is weighed, every whisper caught and read. In the service of the state, all freedom must be dead. They worked the coalface, laid the bricks in haste, for 5-year plans that left the people waste. The quotas swelled, the promise grew so thin, till anger broke the silence held within. June 17th, the workers finally rose, fists against the rhetoric, defying all the woes. They marched for bread and freedom against the party's lies, but hope lasted only till the tanks arrived. The muffled roar of the T-34 tore the thin veneer away forevermore. The protest died beneath the cannon sound, and loyalty was dug back into the ground. The great concrete doctrine, where the party is the truth. The endless binding blueprint of manufactured youth. Silence is the price of bread, and whispers fill the air. The German Democratic Republic, built on constant stare. It is the republic built on watching. Every breath is weighed, every whisper caught and read. In the service of the state, all freedom must be dead. The minister of fear, the MFS began, a system deeper than the mind of any man. Eric Mielke built the machine that never slept. A million eyes and ears, the secrets that were kept. Your neighbor, teacher, colleague, friend, or kin, an unofficial collaborator lets the terror in. Unseen ears in every room, a microphone behind the shelf. The worst prison unashamed to lock the workers in the paradise they claim. The border strip, the warning sign, the razor wire, the sheets that fail the soldiers, mandatory fire. No escape, no freedom, only mandated fear. The price for stepping toward the light is paid out standing here. They are always near, and the constant need for vigilance is all we ever hear. We watch the watchmen and they watch us back. Every generation learns to navigate the track. We sign the papers, attend the meetings, raise the hand. A nation bound by concrete and supervised command. The red star hangs high, but gives no light, just the shadow of the wall in the everlasting night. Built on terror, founded on the light, the German Democratic Republic, where the only choice is why. Keep watching. 0 hour faded, but the steel remained gray, and the Red Army ordered the debt we must pay. Factory doors shuttered, the private signs fell, national elation ringing like a foundry bell. LA to spin eastward, a captive supply for the war reparations beneath the cold sky. Heavy industry first, that was the decree. The product is built, but it's not built for me. We are the 5-year plan, scratching out the lines while the USSR feeds on the dust of our minds. We are the gears in the command and quota machine, where the books are balanced in shades of red and green. We build a target, we meet the calculated sum, waiting for the future that never will come. Watch the trade balance tilt, watch the paper thin in the plan economy. The failures all beginning with the centrally drawn map, and the endless was production goal. Losing our output, losing our soul. The material situation was brittle and low, but the central office demanded we make the numbers grow. They raised the working quotas, they sliced the workers' wage, turning one man's profit into another man's cage. June 53, the tension finally broke. 250 towns in the fire and the smoke. The cobblestones lifted, the voices were loud. The set trembled before the angry crowd. The tanks rolled in quickly, silent and grim, to prove that obedience was the new economic hymn. The land estates liquidated, the hectares redrawn, broken into parcels from dusk until dawn. Give it to the farmers, the exiles, the poor, then take it again and demand something more. Collectivization, the cooperative farm, before a sudden harvest that caused nothing but harm. While the small fields vanished, a far greater leak, 3 million footprints walking toward gears in the command and quota machine, where the books are balanced in shades of red and green. We build the target, we meet the calculated sum, waiting for the future that never will come. Watch the trade balance tilt, watch the paper thin. In the planned economy, the failures all begin with the centrally drawn map and the endless production goal. Losing our output, losing our soul. Honecker promised the subsidized bread, a concrete block housing over every head, extensive social spending, the rent held in place, a veneer of comfort across this desolate space. But the bills kept arriving, imported and steep, as the global oil prices dug holes far too deep. Foreign loans stacked like bricks, invisible but vast. The reckoning was coming far too fast. And in the cold calculation, the final debt we paid was the price of a prisoner for the West German aid. 33,000 souls, a terrible calculated trade. Use a human currency to keep the phantom self in parade. We are the gears in the command and quota machine, where the books are balanced in shades of red and green. We build the target, we meet the calculated sum, waiting for the future that never will come. Watch the trade balance tilt, watch the paper thin. In the planned economy, the failures all begin. Watch the trade balance tilt, watch the paper thin. In the planned economy, the failures all begin. The dust was thick on Friedrichsfelde, where brick and concrete broke the light. We stacked the frames and earned our pittance, and carried burdens through the night. But then the foreman read the paper, a 10% they said must rise. More sweat for the collective hammer, while hunger stared us in the eyes. The quota was the final insult, a burden that we could not bear. So one man dropped his rusty trowel, and silence filled the iron air. Hear the grinding of the steel tracks across the square on June 17. They asked for bread and got the backlash, the cruelest sight the world has seen. We traded tools for revolution, we traded hope for Soviet fright. When the T-34s rolled into silence, the people's momentary light. It started with 1,000 voices, a march that swelled and would not stop. From Leipzig's fields to Rostock's harbor, the sudden fervor reached the top. No longer just about the wages, the fire caught a greater fear. We shouted things they swore were banished, Freywall and freedom here. We tore the posters from the pillars, we claimed the streets we couldn't keep. A million souls upon the pavement, awakening from poison sleep. We stood against the red administration, demanding they should go away. message was swiftly spoken, the order given hard and cold. The boys who drove the heavy metal were not afraid to do as told. They fired warning shots above us, then dropped their sights into the crowd. The screams were swallowed by the engine, the broken spirit cried aloud. How many died there in the gutter? 55 or twice that much. The numbers vanish in the ledger beneath the Soviet iron touch. They dragged the wounded, hid the bodies, and swept the cobblestones clean of blood. Then came the vans for all the others, 15,000 misunderstood. The trials were held behind closed windows. The sentences were swift and long, for daring just to raise a banner or sing a democratic song. We learned the bitter cost of dreaming. The secret police now walk the square. The hope of 53 lies buried, a frozen whisper in the air. They gave us back the work concessions, a paltry comfort for the dead. But every worker knew the silent bargain, a single word and you were led. Hear the grinding of the steel tracks across the square on June 17. They asked for bread and got the backlash, the cruel sight the world has seen. We traded tools for revolution, we traded hope for Soviet fright. When the T-34s rolled into silence, the people's momentary light. The quotas met, the silence settled, the day they called the day of shame. But every year the wind still carries the sound of some whispering. 17. 17. 17. The tanks went home, but the silence remained. The microphone was shining bright, the summer sun was hot and high. The cameras rolled across the room beneath the clear, unfading sky. We hung on every word he gave, our leader standing straight and tall, dismissing rumors of escape, ignoring signs of coming fall. He leaned in close, that practice smile, assuring people calm and slow. Forget the panic, forget the fear, there is no need for you to go. And history records the phrase, the sentence born of cold deceit. Nobody has any intention of building a wall across this street. 2 months and a lie, that's all it took to sever the sky. One night of wire turned freedom to fear. The promise was dust, the prison is here. They built a cage for the whole GDR. They built a wall where a city once was. A sudden silence fell upon the dawn. We woke up trapped Berliners all alone. We went to sleep on Saturday night. The streets were quite dark and still. Woke up on Sunday to a sound, the rumble of trucks against our will. They laid the coils of razor wire where children played just yesterday. soldiers in concrete, armed and grim, blocking every path and way. The border crossing sealed with brick, the windows facing west were barred. The sudden cut, a shocking jerk, our future now was scarred and hard. The trolley lines were snipped in half, the subway stations filled with guards. Suddenly, neighbors were foreign shores, separated by iron cards. 2 months and a lie, that's all it took to sever the sky. One night of wire turned freedom to fear. The promise was dust, the prison is here. They built a cage for the whole GDR. They built a wall where a city once was. A sudden silence fell upon the dawn. We woke up trapped Berliners all alone. My mother stood 50 feet away, a handkerchief pressed to her face. She saw her sister trapped inside, sealed into this desolate space. We shouted names across the gap over the noise of pounding steel. A sudden aching, final truth, the type of grief only the trapped can feel. The wedding dress she couldn't wear, the baby she would never hold. A generation torn and lost, a simple story, cruel and cold. They severed arteries and veins, they broke the ties of blood and kin, and locked us in this manufactured land where freedom was the deadliest sin. They called it anti-fascist protection, but it was just statewide detention. They built the towers to watch us close, because millions knew they had to go. Over 2 million souls had fled, seeking the promise of the West. So brief built a concrete belt to put a citizen's will to the test. And if you run, the bullets fly past the bunkers, sand and mines. The order to fire, a chilling code drawn on the death strips, painted lines. A nation turned into a cell where the guards patrol and the searchlights glare. Trapped in the shadow of a lie, breathing the stale East German air. Nobody had any intention, no, they said they wouldn't build the wall, but they built it. They built it overnight. And the promise just concrete dust. 2 months, alive. Niemand hat die Absicht, eine Mauer zu errichten. The concrete spills across the street, a scar upon the city's heart. 70 miles of cold defeat, tearing families straight apart. They built it high on Marxist fear, to hold the failing state inside, and deafened every listening ear to all the dreams they had denied. It casts a shadow stark and deep, where silent guards maintain the watch for those who try to claim their sleep beyond the iron deadly blush. And the spotlight's got the air for a face that flees. No plea for mercy saves their lives. Bending to the Politburo's ease, we hear the order clear and stark, a silent doctrine on the breeze. Prevent the flight into the dark, shoot to kill and bring them to their knees. Welcome to the total strife, where the border turns to dust and blood. Razor wire and buried minds, swallowed by the rising flood. 91 souls beneath the stone, lay down their bodies for the West. A final sprint they ran alone, put tyranny's cold laws to the test. The bullets echo in the fall, the price of freedom on the wall. Doctrine in the night, if they attempt to take the route, shoot to kill and extinguish the new light. Welcome to the total strife, where the border turns to dust and blood. Razor wire and buried minds, swallowed by the rising flood. 140 lost their fight, laid down their bodies for the West. A final sprint they ran to the light, put tyranny's cold laws to the test. The sudden rifle and the drop, the price of freedom at the stop. They swam the spree, they dug the tunnel deep, beneath the damp and heavy clay. They kiss their loves while others sleep, and prayed the darkness hold the day. 5,000 made it through the storm, 5,000 breathed the western air, but thousands more were dragged back warm into the shadows of the Stacey lair. Imprisonment for those who failed, for thinking they could choose their fate. The brutal system never bailed, it sealed them in with chains and hate. The concrete barrier of command, a tyranny of cold but they hold 1,000 eyes that track every day. I measure my breath before I dial the phone. I speak in whispers though I'm sitting alone. My neighbor waves from his apartment block, a smile too wide like the ticking of a clock. I know the ratio, I learned the cold fact. 1 in 10 citizens sign the loyalty pact, a hidden ledger holding all my history. My silence is purchased for a fragile liberty. This apparatus of the shadow state, a ledger kept in cold, systematic gray. 9105, they watch the gate and write down the things we just didn't say. Diactive file is always open, the number never sleeps beneath the steel and stone. Under the gaze of milk egg, the promise is broken. You are never unseen, you are never your own. Never your own. Never your own. From 1,000 men advising back in 50s haze, they grew the network through 30 years of days. They staff the rail, they check the mail, they clock the factory floor. Their jurisdiction stretches to economy and more, subordinated only to the central committee's will. They took the blueprint of control and taught us how to stand still. They count the steps we take, they analyze the frown, the deepest surveillance of any Soviet town. We learn to move like ghosts inside our own routine, for fear the wrong thought would pierce the public screen. This apparatus of the shadow state, a ledger kept in cold, systematic gray. 9105, they watch the gate and write down the things we just didn't say. Diactive file is always open, the number never sleeps beneath the steel and stone. Under the gaze of milk-herd, the promise is broken. You are never unseen, you are never your own. Never your own. Never your own. The quiet repressions are paper cuts that bleed, but the archives hold the tally of those planted like a seed. And 70,000 souls assigned to a political cell. The harsh years of the 50s gave a taste of the cell's hell. Some came back from Buchenwald, the ghosts of former camps, carrying a darkness beneath the silent lamps. And 327 souls still lie by the concrete divide. They traded their silence for the sky and tragically died. A dash across the wire, a desperate final plea, the cost of trying to simply be. Watch your neighbor, watch your friend, the 1 in 10, the 1 in 10. The whisper travels fast, the paper makes the bend. The 1 in 10, the 1 in 10. The officer is waiting, the interrogation near. The fear is built in, year after year. Didactic, it never closes. I checked the locks twice, but they were never picked. It's not the front door, it's the mind that's tricked. Everyone smiles, but their eyes are glass. Which face in the crowd is the I am the past? The details of my morning, the color of my tea. My neighbor's kindness is a ministry. The clock ticks louder every time the light goes out. A silence that confirms the ever-present doubt. I swear the photograph moved an inch to the right. A ghost designed by officers of the night. This is not a fist, it's a slow motion fall. So sad song whispers behind the wall. They don't need a bullet, they just shatter the pain of your self-belief again and again. They rearrange your world subtle and precise until you beg for sanity at any price. It's decomposition, losing gravity, psychological warfare, state security. State security. The filing cabinet is perfectly aligned, but the socks in the drawer are deliberately twined. My keys are gone and placed back on the shelf, making me argue frantic secrets with myself. A whispered no to work suggests I'm unreliable. My reputation once solid, now pliable. They organize my failure, efficient and clean, turning old friends into a hostile screen. They send anonymous roses to my wife with implied threats attached to the thorns of life. The children are mentioned in passing conversation, a calculated trigger of pure desperation. This is not a fist, it's a slow motion fall. So sad song whispers behind the wall. They don't need a bullet, they just shatter the pain of your self-belief again and again. They rearrange your world subtle and precise until you beg for sanity at any price. It's decomposition, losing gravity, psychological warfare, state security. State security. In the Hohenschönhausen, the neon never dies. No shadow left to hide the terror in your eyes. They starve the sleep, they feed the systematic fear. 400 hours stretched across a single year. No sound to mark the passing of the day. Just the rimming questions that won't go away. A sterile pressure designed to break the will. The quiet torture keeps the records still. They needed silence to cover up the crime. The slow decay of spirit, documented over time. Over my shoulder, Sir Setsung. They are still watching. blacked out corner where the maps avoid the weight of concrete, gray and unremarked. A state secret hidden in the dark. They brought me here in silence, deaf and blind. The journey ended, leaving hope behind. The steel door closes, thick enough to hold the sound of freedom freezing in the cold. I do not know the city or the street, just the rhythm shuffle of the warden's feet. This is not a prison, it's a silent tomb. Hohenschönhausen built to seal your doom. They don't need the chains, they only need the weight. Trading broken bodies for a fractured mental state. We are the vanished, nameless and unheard. Extracted confessions were by hollow word, to be undone by isolation, clean and grim, brought down by silence for the good of the regime. The ceiling drips, a chilling memory of NKVD and dark depravity. They call the basement cells the U-boat deep, where men learn quickly how to fear their sleep. Now the Emma Fontanesse holds the key to the lock. They trade the brutal whip for the constant clock. A sterile room, two chairs across the floor. The same dull questions ringing 2 hours more. They know my weakness, know my critical thought. My only treason was the freedom I had sought. This is not a prison, it's a silent tomb. Hohenschönhausen built to seal your doom. They don't need the chains, they only need the weight. Trading broken bodies for a fractured mental state. We are the vanished, nameless and unheard. Extracted confessions were by hollow word, to be undone by isolation, clean and grim, brought down by silence for the good of the regime. My sense of time is shattered and undone. The sun is hidden, I can't tell 12 from 1. The light switches on, the interrogation starts. A psychological assault upon the heart. They mention names, my daughter, mother, wife. A quiet threat that cuts deep as a knife. Cooperate or they will surely pay the cost. And in that moment everything is lost. They crave the proof that I am enemy, but all I am is someone trying to flee. The forced march ritual, the solitary walk, the mandatory rule, you must not talk. No human contact, just the echo of the fear. A whispering shadow that says no one's near. They keep the evidence beneath the floor. The stains and screams from 60 years before. Now we stand indicted, sentenced in the mind for wanting borders left far, far is drawn within the nightmares of the dead. This is not a prison, it's a silent tomb. Hohenschönhausen built to seal your doom. They don't need the chains, they only need the weight, trading broken bodies for affection and mistake. We are the vanished, nameless and unheard, extracting confessions word by hollow word, to be undone by isolation, clean and grim, brought down by silence for the good of the regime. The wall fell down, the gates were ripped apart. They made a memorial of the broken heart. Now buses stop where black fans used to creep, but the silence here still runs a mile deep. And though the map is finally drawn in light, the shadows linger clinging to the night. Hohenschönhausen, they made us disappear. They brought us in the transport van beneath the winter sky, to walls that scraped the concrete world and made the future die. They said we were a broken cog within the perfect plan, and needed sharp correction from the disciplined hand of man. No locks upon the windows here, they barred the soul instead. Moniker, where hope was truly dead. We were the property of the state, deviations from the guide, but no one whispered what darkness the educators would hide. We were the children of the Republic, raised on a pioneer's pledge, taught that the state protected all upon the socialist edge. But the apparatus of control had a silence that was wide, where the hands that should have guided us were turning tides of shame. 54% the statistics say, a number etched in fire. The systematic violence fed the system's sick desire. They didn't fix the broken spirit, they ensured the soul was slain. Call the theft of innocence re-education again. The daily grind and absolute power, the workstead hummed with forced routine. The dust on every brow, we learned to work, to never speak, to simply bend and bow. The man in the uniform, he held the key, the absolute command, a petty sovereign in the walls of this forgotten land. He spoke of discipline and iron will, of duty to the flag, but every glance held heavy weight, a burden, a heavy drag. The power structure was the grease that kept the shadows fed, a cold indifference from above. The living envied the dead. We were the children of the Republic, raised on a pioneer's pledge, taught that the state protected all upon the socialist edge. But the apparatus of control had a silence that was wide, where the hands that should have guided us were turning tides of shame. 54% the statistics say, a number etched in fire. The systematic violence fed the system's sick desire. They didn't fix the broken spirit, they ensured the soul was slain, and called the theft of innocence re-education again. The secret in the dormitory, the physical mystery treatment was the price for losing face. The hunger and the loneliness, the slow erasure of our space. But when the lights went low at night and footsteps near the bed, we learned the terror that was worse than anything they said. The forced proximity of evil, the trauma shared and hid, the violations sanctioned by the rules the system strictly bid. A childhood stolen by the men who swore they held the light, leaving us with panic attacks and panic in the long dark night. The wall came down 2 decades past. The gray regime is gone, but the trauma built in concrete walls still greets the heavy dawn. We carry guilt that wasn't ours. We search for alibis. Why the world that promised safety looked away from pleading eyes. Now Torgo stands, a memory carved, a witness to the crime. But how do you compensate the years, the theft of measured time? The evidence is in the scars that never seem to heal. The knowledge that the state knew all and found it worth the seal. The system called it discipline. We knew it as the fear. A whisper in the dormitory that no one else would hear. We were the future they had planned. We were the forgotten children of that eastern rigid land. The papers came on my 19th year, sealed with the crest I learned to fear. It wasn't a choice, not a single plea, just a mandate from the SID. They shaved my head and stripped my name, assigned a number to this game, traded my books for a rifle cold. Another young man bought and sold. We learned the doctrine loud and fast, that the enemy shadows the world we've cast. The political officer watches me well, ensuring my loyalty serves the shell. Moneted in olive green steel, the weight of the people's republic I feel. They teach us to march, they teach us to salute, but silence the question of who we recruit. Serving the shield behind the white line, a loyal soldier till the clock says it's mine. 18 months to forget I am free, a cog in the engine of history. They keep us drilled away from the west, but the shadow of their fence puts us all to the test. The Grand Struppin's duty we understand, to keep the republic contained in this land. I've walked the fields where the tripwires lie, and seen the cold stare of the watchtower's eye. The rumor travels thin and low of the ones who tried to run the show. If I refused, if I dropped the gun, 5 years waiting before my race was run. So I load the chamber and polish the boot. A the same uniform, shared the same dread. I look at the border, the concrete spine, and wonder what treason lives in my mind. If I turn my back on the party's claim, will I be shot by a man who knows my name? The bullet knows no loyalty, only the cost paid by those who wish they were lost. We are the sentries of Republic flaw, ordered to stop the silent pursuit. The steel and stone divides the light. The searchlights cut the frozen night. We walk the ghost of pavement cracked, where every breath is double tracked. The grey concrete, a beating heart of fear, knows all the secrets whispered here. But across the line the west is bright, and under us there sleeps a fight. The promise shared in coded glance, a second chance. We found the floor, a basement damp and deep, where Stacy eyes were lulled to sleep. We brought the tools the students sent, a silent, dangerous sacrament. We chalked the route 45 meters long, where the iron grip doesn't belong. We dig the clay, we pray it holds, a lifeline cut from dirt and cold. Every shovel whispered, every hammer slow, under the boots where vote posts go. Claustrophobia, mud and black lung fear, but freedom's breath is drawing near. This is tunnel feet D7, our desperate way to heaven. Crawl, just crawl, don't wait for the call. Talked of 29 who broke the chain through that first burrow in the rain. That sweet success keeps hope alive, the reason we still cling and strive. We listen close for tapping sound, for rescue tunnels underground. But listen closer for the dread, the informing footsteps overhead. One loose brick, one shaky roof can make a sudden final proof that liberty city ran the silent line between the east and the divine. A baker's cellar, flour on the sill, a world away from checkpoints still. The 57 shoulder to the stone, slipping out from what they know. But the light broke through too loud, too fast, a frantic moment built to last. Then the crack of fire, sharp and thin, the moment danger rushed right in. A comrade fell, a sudden cost, a fragile victory almost lost. A soldier died on the wrong side of the fight, just following orders in the night. Freedom has a heavy debt, a darkness we cannot forget. We dug the clay, we prayed it holds, a lifeline cut from dirt and cold. Every shovel whispered, every hammer slow, under the boots where vocals go. Claustrophobia, mud and black lung fear, but freedom's breath is drawing near. This was tunnel 57, our desperate way to heaven. Crawl, just crawl. Don't wait for the call. Don't wait for the call. Don't wait for the call. They poured the cement, they choked the air, they tried to seal the dream that started there. They may fill the hole, but they can't erase the scar. 300 souls now know where they are. Under the wall, under the fear. We found our way, we disappeared. Tunnel 57, gone to the west. We fade out with repetitive, muted, scraping sounds. We fade out with repetitive, muted, scraping sounds. The breath of the city is frozen and thin. December of 61, the cage closing in. They built a stone barrier, they laid the barbed line, but a ghost of a track still runs past their design. Engineer waiting, his hands cold and steady, gathered the weary, the brave and the ready. Whispers in the carriage, a nervous soft plea. Tell us, Harry, is this the way to be free? The signal lamp flickers, the fire is low. A violent shudder that everyone could feel. Barbed nets recoil, wood splinters and flies. A blind and bright flash reflected in desperate eyes. We slow, we hold, the pistons is low. Silence descends on the driven white snow. In the air it is different, the pressure is gone. We made it, we're safe till the dawn. Landing softly in the British sector's domain, never to see that bleak landscape again. Full throttle to the west, let the high pressure blow. Hear the wheels on the rails start to gather and grow. Steam and sacrifice, running faster than fate. We're chasing the dream past the border and gate. The last train of freedom, a desperate loud cry will tear down the wire beneath the black sky. We held fast, held hard, we broke free of the lock. A crash and a screech, shattering the concrete block. First light, the line was dismantled. The escape route sealed, the dark tracks were cancelled. The earth was upturned, the escape was the final. The closing credits of a daring survival. They stopped the machine, they won't let it run home. But we rode the last engine across the vast foam. The last express, December 61. Freedom won. March of 65, the cold air bites the spire of the house of ministries, fueled by desperate fire. Heinz holds Apple, the engineer knows every hall. A working cog inside the machine, preparing for the fall. We hid for hours in the highest dusty stall. Judah held the boy tight, listening for the last call. The quiet of the regime settled on the street, and the iron curtain hummed beneath our silent feet. I checked my harness, rigid and precisely made, an axle from a child's forgotten bicycle parade. One high steel line across the divide we ride, a silent cable car, no place left to hide. Gliding on a ghost line over the concrete scar, from the tyrant's rooftop to where the free lights are. Across the death strip suspended in the black, a one-way ticket down the engineer's arc and never looking back. The roof edge waiting, looking down the drop. My hands were steady, fear told my heart to stop. I took the hammer, weighed it, painted bright with phosphorus that burned a guiding line at night. It flew across the border, a prayer thrown in the dark to hands unseen, waiting to complete the arc. I felt the pull, the rope came back across the wire. Then slowly, carefully, we hauled the cable higher, secured it fast to the building of the state, using the fortress structure to seal its own fate. One high steel line across the divide we ride, a silent cable car, no place left to hide. Gliding on a ghost line over the concrete scar, from the tyrant's rooftop to where the free lights are. Across the death strip suspended in the black, a one-way ticket down the engineer's arc and never looking back. Silhouette against the moon, holding the boy close, gone too fast, gone too soon. I watched her vanish into the western haze, wishing the steel would hold through these awful hanging days. My turn then followed the wind, tearing past my ear. The concrete below, death screaming cold and near. Above the border of the dead, the friction screamed, but silence was our vow. We were waiting speed, there's no turning back now. Then the floodlights hit, the border patrol awake. We saw the Soviet officers standing near the lake. They watched the gliding figures, a strange sight in the air, but raised no rifles, offered up no killing stare. They thought we were the enemy, smuggled back to West, a secret mission running, putting freedom to the test. They saw us slide, professional and cold, believing the GDR secrets were worth more than gold. Their confusion bought the silence that saved our lives. The divide we ride, a silent cable car, no place left to hide. Gliding on a ghost line over the concrete scar, from the tyrant's rooftop to where the free lights are. Across the death strip suspended in the black, a one-way ticket down the engineer's arc and never looking back. Ground of the West, shudder and the boy standing, putting fear to rest. We cut the final tether, let the cable fall and sway, leaving the gravity of fear far behind us that day. March 1965, the engineer's arc. We slid to freedom. gypsies whisper walk the eastern streets, but we were charting maps with linen sheets. We saw the wall, a scar upon the land, and knew we had to find a higher hand. A year of stolen hours, learning knots and fire, building a whisper to escape the wire. The first attempt ended in cold defeat. The cotton failed us, left us on our feet. We scattered quick before the dogs could bark, and hid our failure in the heavy dark. They found the secrets, searching for the ghost, but 8 lives trembled, knowing what was lost. We loaded heavy, weighted down with stakes, for a second chance, for goodness sakes. For mothers watching, for small children hushed, a brittle promise, ready to be rushed. Out of the dark, on a breath of propane fire, lifted high above the barbed wire. This petrol giant soaring on the wind, the only vehicle where new life can begin. 15 minutes of trembling, fragile flight, a paper heart against the iron night. We fly the flag of quiet bravery, escaping from the GDR. Escaping from the GDR. Was a desperate hymn against the silence of the border dim. We scraped the clouds at 6,000 feet. The air was freezing thin and bitterly sweet. We held our breath for searchlights sweeping low, praying the cold wind would help us go. Below us slept the watchtowers, blind and cruel. The Eastern Guard patrols following the rule, but rules can't touch a dream sewn tight with thread. We looked down on the prison we had fled. The oxygen was failing, the fabric strangest miles to go before the promised land was gained. We threw the sandbags out into the void, every memory wished to avoid. 8 hearts beating like drums against the skin. We knew the chase was starting the moment they tuned in. Out of the dark, on a breath of propane fire, lifted high above the barbed wire. This patchwork giant soaring on the wind, the only vehicle where new life can begin. 15 minutes of trembling, fragile flight, a paper heart against the iron night. We fly the flag of quiet bravery, escaping from the GDR. Escaping from the GDR. Then the flames diminished, the burner side installed, and the wind dropped us where the high pines called. A sudden shock, a splintering of wood. We crashed among the trees where West Germans stood. The air smelled different, heavy, rich with pine. We searched each face for failure or a sign. No guards, no sirens, just a sudden peace. We stood on Bavarian soil and found release. The blanket of the balloon deflated fast, a monument to freedom finally surpassed. fog grew thicker, secrets piled up high. But the Stacy couldn't catch us in the sky. September 79, a cold clear night, we landed in the freedom and the light. the Bolton-Hagen shore. He knew the state owned everything, but he craved something more. 2 months left of summer before the final freeze. He'd heard the whispers rising, carried on the breeze, but he couldn't wait for hope. When the stars, he watched him sleep, he'd take the final gamble on the unforgiving deep. safe on the shining deck. 5,000 D-mark raised for him, a fund for what came next. The last man out across the waves, the final swim achieved. 2 months before the gates flew open and the world finally believed. He settled down in winds and life rebuilt upon the strain. Mario found his future and he never looked back again. The Peter Pan The summer simmered, the borders tightened fast, but the silent promises were broken at last. We watched the trains running west through the night, the thousands fleeing, showing us the light. From Prague to Budapest, a fissure in the every person leaving answered freedom's call. We gathered in the shadow of St. Nicholas Church, with nothing but a quiet, agonizing search for a voice that wouldn't tremble, a word that wouldn't lie, a prayer for peace beneath the cold gray sky. The city held its breath, the pavement felt like stone. The fear that built the system was finally overthrown. We took the dusty road, 2 by 2 we marched the street, knowing that the moment of reckoning we'd meet. We are the people, wir sind das Volk. We are the sound that the silence broke. No longer cogs in the monolithic wheel. The promise of the future is the truth we feel. We walk together, heart to urgent heart. This quiet revolution tears the world apart. We are the people, we will not be moved. The power of the masses has been proved. They line the streets of Leipzig, the security deployed, with helmets locked in batons, ready to destroy. 70,000 souls faced down the threat that day. We held our candles high and refused to run away. They waited for the violence, the excuse to shed the blood, but they couldn't stop the rising of the peaceful flood. Just whispered chants and footsteps, a tide they couldn't stem. That night the iron fist lowered its own crown from its head. The machine hesitated, the secret police stood still. The common man's courage conquered their iron will. The walls began to crumble on orders they ignored. History was written and freedom was restored. We took Dresden, the riot at the glass, the public fury building, watching history pass. We stormed the headquarters where the dark files lay concealed, and stopped the burning papers, the truth that must be healed. The Stasi's reign of terror dissolved to dusty air. The watchers who watched us now found nobody there. Then one mistaken sentence, broadcast late one night, sent East Berliners rushing toward the borderline. The gates were unmanned, the guards were overcome by sheer humanity. The victory was won. Together, heart to urgent heart, this quiet revolution tears the world apart. We are the people, we will not be moved. The power of the masses has been proved. November 9th, the hammer singing loud, tearing down the curtain in a joyful crowd. Chapter closed and done, two halves united under the rising sun. The silent prayers for peace became the shout when the people stood together and the lights went out on the old regime. Freedom's only dream. We are the people. We are the people. We are the people. We are the against the sky, a calculated, quiet lie. They promised parity and peace, but freedom was the first to cease. In every flat, a measured lamp, illuminating only the cold cramp of whispering where you should shout, of living with perpetual doubt. You learn the language of the low, the things we didn't dare to know. That heavy concrete held the chill of neighbors waiting on the sill. There's a lens behind the curtain, pointing coldly at your door, an acoustic shadow stretching out, hungry for a flaw. They built a world of glass walls, but only they could see. We traded trust for betrayal, turning kinship into brine. The paper trail runs hundreds of miles long, listing every person who dared to belong to a thought that wasn't sanctioned, a gathering unseen, the silent creeping terror of the state machine. They stripped away the self piece by slow piece, until the independent spirit found no release. There's a lens behind the curtain, pointing coldly at your door, and a cussed shadow stretching out, hungry for a flaw. They built a world of glass walls, but only they could see. We traded trust for silence, and dignity for false security. This is the rhythm of the shadow state, a chain of iron forged by hate. This is the toll the files still claim, cataloging nameless shame. The walls are bound, the truth came through, of things they did to me and you. The truth is stark, the damage vast, a warning from the past, designed to last. Fell and listen to the stories they tell. The prison air is thin and cold, a history that must be told. We opened up the records, let the sunlight stream to shatter the remnants of a nightmare dream. But vigilance is tiring and memory can fade fast. The ghosts of ruthless power are waiting to be recast. This is the rhythm of the shadow state, a chain of iron forged by hate. This is the toll the files still claim, cataloging nameless shame. The walls fell down, the truth came through, of things they did to me and you. The truth is stark, the damage vast, a warning from the past, designed to last.